All right. So we're here to talk a little bit about current events. Um, so basically, we have this guy that we used to work with at a warehouse that we used to run a bunch of cryptography equipment in for the government, and essentially, he has taken it upon himself to tell a bunch of scandalous lies about people that have done nothing but be nice to him. And what has he done, basically?
Basically, first of all, that was stolen from Chris Malay. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but anyway, uh, he stole a laptop and he connected on eBay. He connected all of our accounts, Stas, Brad, mine, and got them banned. And then he and said he had nothing to do with it. And then one day we were in my car driving around, listening to music, blah blah blah. And first thing he did was when he got in the car with me was he was dissing my music. He was saying, that's such pussy ass music, man. Why do you listen to that shit? And it's trance music. That's dude, it's trance, okay? And it's some of it is a little, it's feminine. It's a feminine voice, and he thinks that's gay or whatever. Well, and I had enough of that, man. It was just he put me in a bad mood, and anyway, so while we were driving, he said he had to take a piss, and so I pulled over at a gas station. He said, "Oh, there's donuts there. I'm gonna get some donuts." So he comes back and he had it with three donuts, one for his friend in the back seat, one for me, and one for him. And I didn't want one. But he offered me one. He gave it to me, and I was like, and so he asked me, "How do you like it?" And I said, um, it's just a donut, man. It's whatever, man. It's just a donut. I was being honest. I was just being straight up honest. And then he said in this most sarcastic, not entitled bitch ass tone to me, "Don't you think a thank you is in order?" I was like, "No, Sage, no. That's it. You don't demand a thank you because it doesn't mean anything after that. If you demand it, it doesn't mean anything." And one thing led to another, and I was just tired of arguing with him about why I didn't owe him a thank you. And basically, I told him he was dumb, man. You were so dumb. And then he goes, "I'm about to hit you." And I was like, so I was like, "Hit me." And so he did. He punched me square in the mouth, and I didn't do anything to deserve that. I didn't threaten him in any way.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, and he punched me several times. So we got in a little fist fight, but I was immobilized in the seat, and it wasn't a fair fight. So he has later the audacity to to lie about how went to the courts to sue
Right.
him.
Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. So let me add a little soundbite into this recording real quick, just to give you an idea of what was conveyed to me after this situation happened, and he decided to call me. Now, keep in mind, I work for the government. I work for like literally countless government contracts. If you look over here on my computer, I literally have every contract from the feds for the last 3 years on my computer for IT under the General Services Administration IT Schedule 70, and basically a large majority of them, all the way back to like 2014, I pretty much have contributed in some way to something that's mission critical to my specialty, right?
Right.
So it's safe to say when people call me like this and start saying shit like that, that I don't care because, it's not, it's obviously it's negative, and when people say stuff like this, it just, here you go. What's up, man?
What's up, son?
So what did he say?
He tried to call the fucking police. No, he wasn't. I wasn't even home when they showed up. My mom told me about it when I got back.
Really? So they showed up on you?
Yeah, they didn't show up on me. They showed up on my mom and pops. I wasn't home. I was up north.
Oh.
I was at Windburn. When they showed up. Dude, he's full of shit. He has no fucking proof for that fucking fight whatsoever. But plus, he tried to call him a week after the fact. And the only three people that know him and Weezy ain't gonna say shit.
Yeah,
I
it
definitely
sounds to
agree.
me
And I'm
like
def-
he
and I'm
fucking. It sounds to me like he fucking asked for it himself, for real.
he's probably upset because he got his fucking ass whooped. That's why.
Probably.
So right there, he just admitted,
that he punched me in the
right,
mouth.
and
And
then
there was no fight here. Let me make that clear. There was no
yeah,
fight here. I was defending myself. And I didn't connect with any punches. I was just, thankfully he had that kid in the back seat to tell him to stop it because I probably wouldn't have thought to think, you know, me being, totally off guard and just, so, oblivious to the fact that somebody would actually do that. Luckily had him in the back seat to tell him, to knock it off, to stop. But he just
right.
went ahead, just kept on punching me, and like I said, I was immobilized in the driver's seat with my seatbelt on.
So
And
anyway, he went on
yeah,
to
he proceeded to lie about me suing him.
right,
Now,
and then
that
what did he
never
do?
happened.
What about your mom going to his house and shit like that?
Never happened because my mom doesn't want anything to do with him, and she doesn't know him, and she doesn't know where he lives. So that's a total bullshit lie.
Right, so it's safe to say that he's a perpetual liar.
Yeah, he's a chronic perpetual liar, habitual liar.
And is that safe to say the reason why we've blocked all communications from him
Yeah,
and his quote unquote associates?
Quote unquote associates. Yeah, that's a joke, isn't it?
All right. So
Yeah.
anyway, he decided, we were obviously just not caring, right? And we were just letting it
Let
go.
bygones be bygones. Man.
Right,
Bridge
but
under the water.
right, yeah, we didn't say anything. And so what did he do yesterday?
He went on his social media account and started blabbing about how Brad and I are we've got mental issues. We've got bipolar and schizophrenia.
Why do we have mental issues, Mike?
Because of this world, dude. We're not built for this world, man. We came from other star systems, man, from other galaxies, and we were put here for some reason I don't know. But we just don't mesh with this world. It seems like we're just not
Right.
made for this
Right.
third dimension realm. I know. I'm
Right.
going
So
off on a tangent.
okay, he specifically called me out for money laundering, correct?
Right. That's
Right.
right.
And he said that my car got repossessed because, I'm a shady business person. What's the real story behind the car situation?
Well, you have a recording of your dealings with the
Yeah,
woman.
let's play this
Play that.
back real quick for all to hear, because it's interesting to hear how these places treat their customers.
Yeah, really shitty.
All calls may be recorded for
Right.
quality and training purposes.
Right. So all calls may be recorded for quality and training purposes, right?
That's right.
Plus I work for the government, so what do I do?
You have lots of computer jobs that you carry out, on a daily
Right,
basis.
and so I record my calls because I might be talking to a
Right.
30-year retired FBI agent, and he
Right.
might be dead, and I might want to go back and listen to what he told me to do, right?
His wisdom and his.
You're right. I want a library of educated people that I work with
It's
to
for
go
your own
back.
protection.
Right. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, it's for my own protection, but it's also so I can,
Catalog and archive.
work.
Conversation work.
Yeah. So I mean, it's maybe like 5% for my own protection, and then the other 95% of the how many calls do I do a day?
Too many to count.
Like hundreds and hundreds of calls a week, right?
That's right.
To like people who have like close to billions of dollars. So
So
it's
important
safe to say that
Yeah.
Sage was well aware he was being recorded because I've told him multiple times that I record all my calls, and I have recorded all my calls since we worked in a warehouse that was financed by MI6. But anyway, past
Yeah.
all that, right, okay. We're going to go to the whole repossession of my vehicle. Our tax return for 2015 until today was $600 USD. They really can't charge you taxes on it, right?
Right.
Right, because it's not their currency. It's not the federal government's currency, right?
Right.
Okay, so it's safe to say that on my tax return, it says in 2015 until now, I spent $9,246, right,
Right.
on just the payments. And then I probably spent another $9 or so $1,000 on gas. So in 1 year, I spent close to 19 grand on, you know,
Right.
on a car, right? So let's hear what these people have to say when I call them. Now keep in mind that I put a $2,500 down payment down, and the whole car, like total payments before they came to repossess the vehicle, was close to 10 grand in 1 year. So we're going to listen to this recording of these wonderful people at the Bridgecrest / Drive Time. And what did they do? What do they continue to do? 50% of all their vehicles that they finance are repossessed, and they charge in upwards of 40% interest rates when you include their daily interest rate on a late payment, right? So they'll start charging you $10 a day for every day you're late, and then they still charge you 30%. So like,
on top of that,
right? So I ended up owing, like, we'll just listen. This was 3 months ago when I contacted them about a payoff.
Bridgecrest, this is Kathy. How can I help you?
Yeah, I was calling because I was trying to see if it was possible to renegotiate a payoff on my car.
To renegotiate?
Well, I'm just trying to
can't
figure
hear
out
it.
what the current. It's okay. It's
situation
playing
is
in the
with my
background.
car.
You'll be able to hear it when the video's done.
Okay. What's the account number?
I don't know what the account number is. I can give you like my phone number.
Your social? Okay, who am I speaking with?
Brad Burns.
Okay. This is on the 07 Mercedes.
Correct.
All right, so it is currently 80 days past due for $1326.12. If you were to pay the vehicle off, the payoff amount is $18,009.58.
You realize that's more than what I bought the car for, right?
A little bit, probably because of all the interest, because of all the times you paid late.
Right.
Right.
So you're telling me that because I paid a few payments late, you're charging me almost more than I've already paid how much money on the car?
Total regular payments.
Right, she says regular payments.
Total regular payments that you paid have been $5,514.
Right, so I paid $5,514 in regular payments. That doesn't include late payments, and that doesn't include the down payment. She just said regular payments, because if you actually go on their website and add up all the payments, it totals out to like almost 10 grand that I've spent on that car. Let's listen to what she says in more in depth. On the car. So far I owe more than what I paid for it.
Right. You have a simple interest loan. Interest accrues every single day that we don't receive your payment. So if you're 1 day late, you're charged $10.50 interest every day.
You realize that that's literally just straight up predatory lending, right? And you've already been sued for it before, and you lost.
Okay, so are you calling to make a payment, or what are you calling to do?
I'm calling to see if you're willing to renegotiate what I owe on a car that was wrecked when you sold it to me, so it was automatically worth less than book value that you sold it to me for.
No, they're not going to renegotiate anything on the amount, no.
So they're not going to,
No, that is the payoff amount. That's what the amount is.
So basically, the almost $6,000 that I've paid on that car so far is just gone. It's really $10,000, but
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so she agrees with me, and then she proceeds to go off on me and call me a liar. In less than 1 year.
Because, again, this is a simple interest loan. Interest accrues every day that we don't receive your
She's
payment.
starting to
So
like
you're
quabble
paying
in
5
her
days
fucking
late,
responses.
6 days late.
for not receiving a payment from me?
Correct. Right. That's a simple interest loan. And you knew that when you signed the contract.
Your rep literally straight up told me that there was no balloon interest, and that's exactly what you're doing now.
Okay, well, the dealership has no idea. They don't know the financing part of it. So technically,
Dealership doesn't know the financing part of selling
Nope.
me a car?
So she just straight up told me that the dealership doesn't know anything about the financing of selling me a car at the dealership. She literally told me that the company that she works for doesn't know anything about financing the vehicle. Let's keep listening to what she keeps saying.
apparently not, huh? Because they told you that. They tell you a lot of things that you can refinance the vehicle in a year too, and we don't refinance.
So you're telling me right now that your dealerships do a bunch of unscrupulous stuff, and you're falling back on the fact that they're your company, representing your company, and at the same time you're telling me that they're doing all these things that are unlawful and illegal, and you're just like,
All dealerships
that-
do that, sir.
She's
You know
saying
that.
all
They just say what
dealerships
they
do
wanna
that.
hear.
They just say what they want to hear.
They'll tell you what they want to tell you to get you to buy the car.
They'll
You know
tell you
that.
what they want to get
They
you
all
to
do
buy
that.
the car. So
Not
she's
just
telling
ours,
me
any
she's
dealership,
telling me
they'll
that
do
every dealership and her
you
dealership
do
lie
realize that
about selling
most
vehicles
dealerships
for
that sell
40%
people
interest
cars don't
rates.
charge 25% interest rates.
Yes, they do.
She's telling me that other
It's not the
dealerships
dealership, sir. It's the
Literally
finance
higher
charge-
than 25%. There's nobody in the history of understanding money that would ever go and spend 40 grand on a car that's not worth 5. Like, it literally meets all the criteria for predatory lending.
So it literally
Okay,
meets
did
all
you-
the
did you
criteria
wanna
for
make a payment
predatory
today,
lending.
Or are you just gonna argue about your payoff?
Okay, so she just sit here and she just told me that how long have I worked in the car business, Mike?
Oh, probably over a decade, maybe.
Right. So it's safe to say that I can get the cars on a dealer license through my employer in the same places where they get their cars, right?
Yep.
And how much is that '07 silver Mercedes C230 in the condition that it's in worth about?
You
If I
wouldn't
were to-
say 5 grand.
Yeah, it's not. It's not anywhere near 5 grand. It's like 3, maybe. And that's, So anyway, they sold me in 2015 or when I bought the car, they sold me a car for 14 grand at the time that wasn't worth 8. They attached a 30% interest rate on it, right? And then they charged me daily interest for not paying a payment. So it's safe to say that when you're looking at my payments on my sheet when I paid them money, I paid them $420 in one payment one time, and only $166 of that went to the principal. The rest went to interest. And they were ballooning the interest so much, so fast, that by the time it came to, never mind the obviously 18 or 20 so people that I have in this lawsuit against them that have suffered from the same exact problems that they have. But at the same time, they're playing it off like I'm an idiot consumer and I'm not paying my bills. The average interest rate for a brand new Mercedes from a reputable Mercedes-Benz dealership is 1.5%. They were charging me almost 40% interest when you calculated the daily interest from the already scam interest rate that they were paying, or that I was paying them, right?
Right.
So they do this to not, that's the thing a lot of people say, oh, well, you're driving a Mercedes-Benz, but the reality is that it's the exact same price as every other car on their lot. I just picked the Mercedes because it was a little bit nicer than everything else out there, and I know because I've driven countless Mercedes, and I have uh, literally all the tools to fix a Mercedes, including all of the expensive computers, diagnostics, and everything like that. My employer has all that, right?
Right.
So I can just walk up in there anytime and fix cars. In the decade that I've worked in the car business, how many times have I ever lied to someone about a vehicle that I sold them?
I can't say you lied about that.
Right. So why do you think I have so much repeat business?
Quality.
I don't buy poop.
Employer. Yeah, I don't buy poop.
Yeah, I don't
That's right.
buy
Xiaomi
poop.
ain't poopy. They don't sell poop.
Yeah, well,
They
that's
sell
something
quality
else.
shit.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's
anyway.
something else.
So anyway, so Sage tried to drag both our names through the mud, and that's why we're playing this video, is just to let people know what's really going on. And since it's obvious that he had to make his claims public, I feel like maybe people should know a little bit more about
Yeah, you don't
how he
air
talks.
dirty laundry. You don't air dirty laundry
What's
on a
up,
public
man?
forum, man.
Hey, I
It's
need
just
to
not
know
good, you know.
What's going on?
Mike situation. That
Is it you
motherfucker's
passed the
sister tried to
30-minute mark,
fucking
you know
press
that?
assault 4 charges on me. I went to court over it on
Hello?
Friday, but they said that there was
Yeah, I'm
no
here.
physical evidence
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
playing
here.
the other recording
to
back.
prove his case, and they dropped
Okay.
it, so thank God.
Okay, so anyway, um, moving on. How much money do you think we're going to be looking at within 5 years, considering my trade volume? And we have a money services business license that's paid for by millionaires, so we could, manage large amounts of volumes. Because ultimately, we're running depository accounts through Bitcoin, and people are using us as a point of exchange. And how much money did we have to spend to get that money services business license settled and registered through the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network?
I'm not sure. You can tell me.
It's like $250,000 for the bond, right?
Jeez.
Okay. So the bond to trade through an exchange, because legally the only recourse we have at this point is, well, we were Bitcoin miners, right?
Uh-huh.
Right, so we're in control of a bunch of Bitcoin. So it's legally okay for us to sell our Bitcoin as long as we keep records, correct?
That's right.
So we turned a 700-page documents into the IRS, the Department of Revenue, at the state level, and then we also handed it to the Supreme Court Justice, right?
That's right.
Okay, so he's fully aware of every single transaction that we did down to the cent, and it's all tax applied if it's in USD, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so how much money do you think we will have in 5 years' time, considering the massive volume increase in Bitcoin's price structure?
Hundreds. Thousands. 100,000s. I don't know. Millions?
Past that, man. The thing is I don't go flaunting that I have money in other people's faces, ever, period. I take pictures for records purposes, right?
That's right.
So, anyway, moving forward, it is what it is. You can take it or leave it. Bitcoin is entirely transparent. The trades, the buys, the mining, the movement of USD back and forth between BTC and USD is all tax applied, and we're setting sail for, building a very large data center with multi-million-dollar investors, etc., working around the clock. I've put thousands of hours into my work. So, in all honesty, how much do you think I care about a fraudulent interest rate car?
Yeah.
Right. How much do you think I care?
Zero. Zip. Nada.
All right. So, anyway, this is what happened. So, just to close here, why did I even buy that Mercedes, Mike?
Your dad got mad at you and he took your car away. It was just a VW, simple G, what do you call it? Golf.
Yeah.
And he took it and he moved to Alabama, and you were left with no car, no choice but to go to a high interest rate bullshit company to get a car that, was meant to be your A to B car to help you do business.
Right. So I
So,
just all the cars on their lot were about the same price, correct?
yeah,
Double what
your
their book value was with a
yeah,
30% interest
just
rate.
outrageous, yeah.
Yeah, okay. How much is your interest rate from CarMax?
It is 6.5%. My
How,
payments are $130 something dollars a month.
right. So how many, based on my $685,000 tax return that was filed with the Internal Revenue Service, the et cetera, how many Volkswagen Golfs could I have bought since then?
Probably 3 or 4.
Or
I mean,
20?
or I meant for if you had. I mean, counting the base value of what it's worth, if without the interest rate. Yeah. Well, 20 with counting your Bitcoin. Yeah.
Right. So it's safe to say that I don't give a fuck about a predatory lending bunch of douchebags who lie to all their customers. And I've been working in the car business for almost a decade, and I've never lied to anyone like that ever. Right? Ever.
I can't say that you have.
So what have we learned from all this?
Never go to that shitty place again. For no matter how much.
It's better off that I buy a bicycle from Walmart than to buy a car from CarMax, or not from CarMax, but from DriveTime/Bridgecrest, right?
Yeah, I've tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you could get
When,
yourself a little moped and be like Dumb and Dumber, like Lloyd
yeah,
Christmas, and
exactly.
get 30 miles to the gallon on this hog.
Yeah.
Lloyd, I can't believe I can't. He's like, just when I thought you couldn't be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should do that.
Yeah, so anyway, um, I have $1 million daily trade ledger, and my choice of vehicle is a GoPed.
Go pet, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on from that, um, yeah, we made this video because we wanted people to understand the kind of people that we work with and deal with, and they like to drag our names through the mud, and we just wanted to set the record straight. So it
Yeah.
is what it is. Have a nice life. If you've watched this video this long, you're probably sitting there wondering, wow, people are retarded, and we already know that.
That's true. Lots
So,
of idiots out there.
right.
Just gotta let it go.
Yep. So we were gonna let it go, and we had been letting it go, and someone had to drag our name through the
Had to
mud.
bring it back up.
Right. He had to go and lie out his ass. So we made this video so everybody can know exactly what the situation is, and yeah. Have a nice life.